What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
What's up?
Fiddling around with
What
another
is
crawler.
it?
The temperature's been too nice, man. I got to get outside. I can't stay inside and drift. And you can't drift these things. The small cars, you can't drift them anywhere where I'm at.
What do you got going on there, Jeff? Heap of aluminium anodized purple. Is that
No, 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 no. This is from Carnage RC. They're on Etsy, and it
yep?
is like a plastic, like, I don't know, like a, what's the word I'm hunting for here? Like a plexiglass plastic.
Oh yeah,
Acrylic?
It's made. It's
yeah, that's
made.
cool. Oh
It's
yeah,
made really well. They 3D print everything. Of course, I've got some different sliders going on it. I've got a special body coming to put on this thing. Another guy I just
that's
found in
cool.
the crawling world that I'm just like, where in the world have I been? I mean, the crawling world has really gotten wild. Technology has spilled over. You know how we're 3D printing parts for the drifters and doing all that mess. Yeah,
Yep.
they've been busy at it over there too.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Did
Sweet.
you guys
Yeah,
see
you
the
got the area to do it too.
Did
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
see the
yeah.
dude that posted up the 164 drifter for print that he designed? I think in the 164 page he posted up. Yeah, you could 3D print his chassis, and I think it runs NES motor, NES servo, bits and pieces like that. Um, Seems like a quality little kit. Like I've printed it out. It's very tiny, obviously. So I don't know at what point I'll get to do something with it, but yeah, you sort of put it up for as a free for all, like for people to download and build and
Mhm.
print and build. Sorry, and if you had any other changes you wanted to attribute to it, and just sort of made it a community kind
Yeah.
of a thing. So that's pretty cool. I can't remember the dude's name. Mark maybe Mark Toe. I don't know,
Where's he from?
but yeah,
Oh, there,
I think he's from the USA. As far as,
U.S. Oh, that's
but
wild.
it's
A
yeah,
lot, a
so
whole
it's in
lot of
a.
brand
Oh,
new drift products don't come out of the U.S. usually. Some do, but not many.
oh, so this guy's just designed it himself. So as far as I can see, done all the CAD drawings and stuff like that himself, and it's got all the little knuckles and the tie rods and chassis plates. It's like a whole kit ready to go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Add motor, add servo. He's included full instructions. Of what magnets he's used and what screw kit he's used and what other parts from the NES that he's sort of integrated. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little thing.
Yeah.
huge. Yeah,
That Nez is so tiny, man. I can't even imagine. I
I can't
cannot
do
be
it.
So,
me anymore. No, it's too crazy.
I'm
so
starting
as
to
far as it
struggle.
goes,
I'm starting to struggle with these little 1.4 screws, like seeing holes, and my depth perception seems screwed up anymore. I can't see that I'm online with. I don't know what's going on, man. I guess age is catching up to me.
my eyes go blurry when I focus for a while, and so the NES is a perfect test for that. It's happened to me a couple of times. Like, so I think I've told you guys out of the box, I wired it up, tried to drift it. Obviously, it wouldn't drift. It needed a tune, so I started tinkering and trying to get a bit of camber on it. So I'm trying to adjust the top turnbuckles on the top arms, and lo and behold, I snapped one straight off because I just couldn't see that there was a locking screw on the arm because it was so tiny.
Mm.
And so then ordered the parts from GT55, waited, the time frame. It's like a week and a half to 2 weeks sort of thing for turnaround on the shipping. Um, got the parts, fixed it, literally fixed it, adjusted it, went to adjust the bottom arms, like the track width, and snapped that turnbuckle also. So in
Fuck.
repairing that, obviously if I built the thing myself, I might have known that those screws acted as a locking screw, but the screw that holds the bottom of the shock into the lower arm, and if you go into the instructions, it's got a detailed picture showing where the turnbuckle goes in first, and then the screw for the bottom of the shock actually butts into the turnbuckle and acts as a locking screw also. So,
Hmm.
and how I found that out was I sat there for maybe an hour trying to screw a turnbuckle into the aluminium arm, and I couldn't get the damn thing in. It wouldn't even start. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, what have I done wrong here? What's going on? And I picked up, because I ordered a few different arms from GT for the NES, just in case. And so I picked up just a random arm that I had opened, which I hadn't had anything done to yet. And the turnbuckle screwed straight in. It was like butter. And I was like, right, okay. So I checked out the instructions, and then I was like, damn it, all right. So I fixed that, and I went to try and play with the gyro. Sorry, went to play with the gyro RX, and tried to desolder the pins and connections off it, and fried it. So waiting on a new one from GT55. It's been an adventure.
I hate that. That's the worst feeling in the world. I've just felt it here recently. I think I lost $45 on an Endura ESC changing the wires over. I thought my soldering skills were there, and they're close, but not quite.
Mine wasn't so much soldering skills, but it was maybe the fact I needed an extra set of hands just to hold the pin and pull it out once the solder got hot. But yeah, I knew I was doing the wrong thing, and when you just sort of sometimes go, "Oh, fuck it, I'm going to send it and see how it turns out." It was one of them situations, and it's going to go bad. It's going to go really, really bad, but you do it anyway. And anyway,
yeah, all the time, all the time, do it all the time. Oh man, I tell you, I found an app that's awesome. Etsy. Don't be making fun of me, Etsy. and I noticed something while I was on there. Man, there's quite a few, not a ton, but there's quite a few crawler people that are 3D printing parts, getting stuff out there, and sales. Drift, if they're out there, I can't find them. Like
what's his name's wife is doing it. What's it? Slideways or 3C's Isn't 3C's wife?
Maybe.
I think 3D prints.
I don't remember.
Did he just post something? I think he just posted some of her painting a whole bunch of 3D figurines in 24 scale.
Yeah,
that was 3C's,
yeah, 3C's. Yeah. His wife is doing a whole like a mass production, So yeah, check it out.
She's doing the painting, I think, and she's got crazy skills. I've seen some of the other stuff she's doing too.
Yeah, I think he's posted a few of them, man. She's good for sure.
Yeah, but I would just say hit her up because I'm probably gonna do the same thing.
Some of these guys though that are doing these drift chassis and stuff, man, I feel like they're missing out on a market, man. It's a cool platform to surfer. It's like a social media for buying stuff. It's kind of wild.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, no, I've purchased my fair share of Etsy stuff.
Have you? I haven't. I hadn't been on it. I hear Etsy. I think of something my wife would be on there doing. I don't think of some rough and tumble guys selling RC parts. Is that those two things need to go together?
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't necessarily used it for that, but like my body lotion and like my exfoliant soaps. You know what I'm saying? Like
body lotion. You get your PDD on your baby oil.
Okay, moving on. So.
Yeah.
So I saw some pictures of the red MA and the purple MA, the elusive. Is it coming?
They're unicorns at this point, aren't they?
Since the weather happened here, I haven't really been on social media that much. I have, but I focus more, I think, on Instagram than anything.
I mean, what takes so long to do a rerun of something you've already made? It's like I almost believe that NASA did throw away the stuff to go back to the moon. Like, these people
can't
poop out another chassis. Come on, you already built one.
Why would you develop a whole new chassis before you literally just throw some color on one you already got done? Like, I feel you, bro. I feel you. That thing was I paid for that thing in February.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I had a little drive, so I think I spoke on our last chat. I've done the semi-gear conversion on the D24 that I think it was Steve Fest done first. So I've done that on my D24, and so that's the first proper drive I've had of it last night. And man, it is smooth as butter and so much more responsive with them gears in it. It's awesome to drive. And I think, at this point, I think it's my favorite chassis to ride around.
The gears in the back of the MA D24.
Yeah, so utilising the spur and pinion from a 1.5. And then that idler gear from the DLR8 also in the mix. And it is like butter. It's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any spare 1.5 parts. I mean, I do have 1.5, but I don't know.
I wonder if anybody else
It's
has still got any. I wonder because at
you
one
can
point in
yeah
time,
you can
65 had a few spare parts still laying around.
they were still available on GT
Okay,
last time
cool.
when I bought mine. So yeah, I don't know if it's something you guys are interested in, but
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, it's not that I don't order enough from them anyway. I bought another 4 receivers, so
Yeah,
I'll just
I'm
keep
fixing to have to
chopping
do the
down towards
same.
that tree.
I'm fixing to have to do
yeah.
the same. I'm
That'll
not
be
getting the
eight
ones with the gyro this
receivers.
round, no.
8 receivers in 2 months. Ouch.
Yeah, buddy. That's a man. This stuff can. I've noticed a few people that were really big into this hobby selling their stuff here lately. Selling a lot of stuff. What's
Yeah.
up
Hmm.
with that? You reckon? People,
I don't
people
know.
moving on.
I
Bit of
don't
a sea
know. I
change,
mean,
maybe. Don't know.
maybe they're selling it to buy some new stuff.
That's a
I
very
mean,
good
who knows?
possibility. That's a very good possibility.
I try to hold on to
Hmm.
everything that I got just for fun. See if I can do it.
Well, everybody
You've
should
got
always
quite the
be buying.
collection, Dwight.
What's that?
I said you've got quite the collection. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I'm gonna get this Porsche going here pretty soon. It's a
Oh yeah,
real
see.
big long body. But I I'm gonna mount it I think to that graver, TG graver.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
I just love
That's
that
cool.
chassis. It's
dude.
a great chassis.
It
But
looks just
anyway,
crazy with that plate on it, man. That's wild looking.
and I got it sized up for this. So I don't know. I'm
Oh yeah,
thinking
This
that
one,
looks
about
sick.
it. I
it's
don't
a
know.
pretty wide. It's a pretty wide body. Looks like.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. I mean, I could put anything underneath it for sure. Just these TGs, I can't even express to you how good they slide. I mean, compared to every other thing that I have here, I almost want to do like this blind driving challenge where you just select the body that you want. Oh, I want to drive the Corvette or I want to drive the Mercedes, and you don't know what chassis is underneath it. But I'm telling you, man, this TG right here, they are so fantastic. And
And it's one of
for
the only chassis out there too that does what it doesn't have any caster adjustment, which is odd, but
yeah,
it works
I
great.
mean, I mean, not to say that it doesn't have caster, but yeah, no, it's just well thought out. It's super basic. It's so basic that you don't even really want to spend any attention or time on it. But man, I put some softer springs that I got out of a pen. I found some pens at work or whatever. Boom, boom,
Man,
boom. Harvested some pen
I've
springs.
wondered if that would work, man.
No, it does. It does.
That's
Because I found
crazy.
some soft ass pen springs, and by doing that on his, he has basically the same chassis, but different body. But man, I'm telling you, it plants that car. I wouldn't imagine that suspension would mean so much, but man, that TG, that OG, I don't know what you want to call it, the V1 or whatever. That thing is such an animal.
You need to send me the
I
links to whatever pen it was you pulled that out of because I'm fixing to go buy a pack.
It's just you're just here like beep 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 beep. Just like just find the softest ones you could find. Um, I had some others around here, these little black ones. I don't know where the hell they came from, but I'm gonna try those. But pen spring, any other RC style spring, it's just too large diameter. It just won't fit in those little pockets. But a pen
I've got
spring
some.
is money, bro.
I've got some that might work. Thinking of it, I don't know if they'd be tall enough. Where is that bag at? It should be right here in front of me. Ah, pow. Are these little internal crawler shocks?
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
See the
yeah.
spring?
I
See
know
the
what you're saying.
springs in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the right size. To be honest, I'd never even thought about it.
And they look
Huh.
fairly sprung out and
Oh,
soft too, like fairly stretched
they're
out and
really
soft.
soft. They're really soft. I might end up having to give that a try later on this afternoon. That's pretty cool, man.
I put on those
Oh yeah.
RW00. Actually, the BM Racing. The BM Racing came out with their multiple offset.
Yep.
For the RW series. Anyway, so yeah, I figure I'm going to mount it to the What is this? A F40. So
Suckers are
pretty
gleaming
much.
wherever you're standing. That thing is gleaming. It looks like a nice body.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
is. I
literally,
mean, it's dirt cheap, and like I said, I dip it in floor sealer. When it works, awesome. Trust me. Uh, so yeah,
Have
this
it.
is pretty much ready to go. I just ran out of tires. I didn't think that would be possible, but anyway, so I got some tires I'm waiting on. But as soon as that comes out, gonna try to get this RW. I don't know. The RW is cool. I know it slides well. People really. I'm gonna have to just find out for myself. It's such a interesting car. Like
I
how
feel like
these
they
companies go about it. It's very interesting. RW, like this thing is engineered to hell and back.
I think this is my opinion on it. It's a great sliding chassis, but they tried to make it too complicated in a couple spots. If you simplify it and it does not need that high traction shock mount in the back. It I don't know, and it almost doesn't need the four shock mounts in the front. You know what I'm saying? Like if that just had a regular set of shocks on it, I feel like it might have been a little better. It's still a great chassis. Slides fantastic. Probably more angle out of that chassis than any other one that I have.
Here's that DLR8, super nice. Um, I'm curious to see. Oh no, you know what? I was wondering if the rear arms would accept um like an MA D24, let's say, but the way they mount these arms, those ball ends, those rod ends,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
you're
kind
kind
of
of
stuck
stuck
in
with
doing that.
their party, and that's the only downside of this chassis is you can't do anything as far as widening the rear end.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
And
what's
that's
got me too.
Offset's all you got on that one. Just get you a little
I'm
extra
running that thing. I
offset.
need to have that ass. That's my DLR8 body.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do
Because,
this Ford Mustang drift or whatever.
GT4, the GT4.
Yeah, I might do something crazy with this body though. Might do some fenders
I've
on it
got
or something.
a kit coming for a Mustang that I'm really excited to finally get. But y'all will see if it ever gets here. I ordered it a while ago too. I can't believe it's not here already.
where did you order it from?
I'll have to look, but I think the UK is where this came from.
Okay.
D models.
No,
Hmm.
I haven't heard of it, but yeah, I haven't ordered much from the UK, so I couldn't tell you about shipping times and all
Man,
that.
it's one of those late nights surfing, and next thing you know, I see this thing, and it was stupid expensive. I don't even looking behind me to make sure that nobody else is. But like the thing is stupid expensive, and my very first car was the same year model, so I just and
Yeah, very nice.
I'm a Mustang guy, so yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a Flintstone mobile. Oh, my bad. Yeah.
No, no, no. I had an old car, but it wasn't that old. Wasn't that old. Man, we didn't get to do this last week because hurricane come through here and messed North Carolina up like big time. So pretty much my county and Graham County is the only two counties in the state on the western side of the state that didn't get slammed.
That's awesome.
They got slammed to the east of us. They got slammed to the west of us. They got slammed north and south of us. But we didn't hardly get anything, and it was weird. But we're 30 minutes from where the destruction starts, and it's
Hmm.
caused some. They're a lot like 700,000 still without power. Uh, you could only imagine what this. I mean, have you seen any of the stuff on the internet about it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Never
It's
really know,
awful.
but
it's bad. So I-40 major route for truckers. So on that's pretty that whole area is just pretty much shut down. Like there's nothing going on out there. We've got a lot of people from our community where I live heading out there to try to help feed people and take water and propane and everything that they could possibly need. But man, my heart goes out to all those guys. They literally lost. Some of them lost everything, and
Yeah, that
yeah,
sucks.
the number of people missing is still rather staggering. and the government, U.S. government, FEMA, whoever the higher ups in charge that would come and help. When Katrina hit, like they were on the ground immediately. Uh,
Yeah.
they haven't done that here. They have just whatever. So I
Oh,
think
shit.
they're all people that have lost everything are going to get like an initial payout of like $750 in today's economy. Like how far do you think that's going to go? How long could you stay in a hotel for $750? It's a joke.
Yeah,
So
you'd be lucky to get 2 or 3 days.
yeah, so got a couple people I follow on Instagram that follow me that actually live out that way, and yeah, man, like the heart goes out to all those guys. But if I've kind of been shut down because of it. You know what I'm saying? Cell phone service was out for days, and then our banks are kind of
Mm.
screwed up the whole nine. So like, I haven't really been on social media since then. I've kind of just took a break from it. I mean, you were already having to take a break from it because you didn't have it. You couldn't even make a phone call. So I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice for there too. Not to say that I'm gonna stay off of it forever, but sometimes I think a break from it's really good.
Yeah, it does good for your mind.
Yeah.
To touch base with reality. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes the old social media can be very distracting, and you get so caught up in your phone and all the shit.
Well, and then
It's
like with this crawling mess, like I used to crawl all the time. Then I found these
yeah,
drifters, and I was all about these drifters. And like I haven't even looked at crawling. Crawlers sat over on the side of the bench, and I never even touched them. And now, the temperature's changing. I'm not stuck inside with my grandmother watching her anymore because that was also part of the reason I got into drifting. But
yeah,
you come back to another sect of RC, and it's like it's brand new again because there's so much has changed.
yeah.
So maybe if I stay in crawling for a
Almost
little
almost like
while, I can come
rediscovering
back
it.
and drifting will be amazing again too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good to take breaks sometimes.
Yeah,
Right.
a
Yeah.
100%. I find sometimes I get into like a rut where, and like to be honest, I don't actually slide my chassis that much. I find every night when the kids go to bed, I'm more about, okay, what can I paint, or what have I got to build, or what do I have to fix, or what do I have to finish off?
Shoot,
And
yeah.
that for me is it's a large part of the hobby. So I know that you've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy every aspect of it. And I suppose that comes into it. Like you've got to be wired a special kind of way to enjoy the hobby fully. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah, sure, there's parts of it that aren't as appealing as other parts, but um, all round, like yeah, I enjoy the whole thing. I enjoy building the bodies, painting the bodies, building the chassis, and I think that's what keeps you coming back and buying more chassis. Like we've had conversations, Jeff, where you know we're like these guys are bringing out the same shit, and we just keep buying it. It's
Yep.
like, well, yeah,
Yep.
you do like, and they don't change much on them from chassis to chassis and manufacturer to manufacturer, but like I think you get that itch to build something else again, and it's like you know, oh, it looks like a cool chassis. I'm going to buy that. Or, when the latest and greatest comes out and they flash some nice aluminium parts in your face. And, like, I've got to give it to Drift Art. Like, they seem like they're doing a fair bit of innovation. Like, did you see I think you commented on it, Dwight, maybe the dual rate shocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
They
cool.
seem
just
like they've sort of done a redesign on the whole back end.
yeah, he's a team driver, so I'm just checking out his chassis just to see, as soon as you zoom in, you just see like they don't look quite normal, So I'm like, oh, let me check this out. And so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they confirmed that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who they're competing against, maybe just themselves, but it's a damn cool chassis. I'm glad that I have, them. They're great. I actually got one right here, custom chassis, drift art chassis that I'm trying to just figure
That's
out
cool.
what body I want to marry it to. So this got the BRS body roll system set up on it.
Yep.
So I just all the cool kids got one, so I figured I'd make one. So
I hear
I was
you.
just trying to figure out what body I could get the most out of the thing. And in fact, wait right there. Uh,
I ain't going
hey,
nowhere.
don't yeah, I know, right? Don't go
I ain't
anywhere.
going nowhere, bro.
I was just looking at this. I saw this creeping online. on eBay or whatever, but this is from the Fast and the Furious. This is Dom's
Oh,
Charger, but it's the
the ice
off-road
charger.
version, right?
Yeah,
It's got like the wide, fenders and stuff.
Oh, it looks
So
good though,
yeah.
for
man. You get some
yeah,
of the
for
Fast
five
and
bucks,
Furious
right?
junk off of it.
Yeah, non-running RC for $5, but I'm just like looking at it, and I think that if I change the motor layout, still keep the BRS, but just alter the motor layout a little bit. Maybe flip the gearbox or so forth just to accommodate it. But this car is wide and it's got a good heavy feel to it. It's kind of boaty, so I think I'll get a lot of body roll out of this, per se.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll be the worst. So yeah, I may try that,
It looked
and
good
see
with a
that's
good
how it
setup.
goes right there.
Five plus five or 5.5 offset wheels. It looked good, dude.
I
Yeah,
tell
it
you what, it's
needs.
not RC related, but like it's small scale, I suppose. Did you guys ever see there's an American company I think called Anki,
Oh yeah,
and I
Yankee.
think they did you see the Anki Overdrive? Um, it's so I refer to it as a slot car set on steroids, and what it is. So, and sorry, the ice charger just reminded me of it. So they brought out a Fast and the Furious version, which come with Hobbs's the MXT, like the big truck that he drives, and they had Dom's ice charger. And so come to the charging dock, you charge up the cars, and they've got like a little lipo inside of them. Um, they don't steer per se, but the back wheels alternate in drive, like to give you the steering. And it
Kind of
comes
like
with a
kind of
four
like
long.
what was the name of the drift cars way back in the day? The counter steer cars. Kind of like a counter steer
Yeah,
car.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, kind of. So then you've got like the track has got code written in it, and it's weird to explain, but yeah, you've got lengths of track. So you've got straight lengths, you've got your curves, which are a 90-degree curve. You've got rises and stuff, so you can make an overpass and an underpass. You've got a jump section, and it's a proper gap. It's like a set of double jumps, like a ramp to ramp.
Yeah.
And so the car has a camera in it where it reads the track, right? And you sort of you play with it with your phone or your iPad or whatever through an app, and you can tilt the device to change lanes. Like you're not actually stuck in a slot, like a slot car track. Like the car just drives on the road and it reads the code in the road. Do you know what I mean? To know
Yeah.
where to stay in its lane. You've got weapons, so you can have a gunfight with up to 4 players, and all different types of weapons. Like you've got electromagnetic pulse blasts, and you've got machine guns, you've got long range, you've got mid range, you've got short range, and it's absolutely ballistic. Like it was so much
So
fun. I've got like a
you ain't
couple of
got any
sets, and the
spy hunter.
company
You
are
ain't got
great.
any spy hunter smoke screen or oil slick. Come on now. Please tell me you played Spy Hunter. I know you're from Australia, but please tell me you know what Spy Hunter is.
Like the video game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have played it at one point. It's quite old, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it's been a minute.
thanks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks, bro.
Dwight, we're not getting young anymore, bro. Like we're like it's yeah, that's been a minute. And you remember it in your head, Dwight, like it had great graphics. And then if you were to see it today,
Yeah, no, I
if you were to
mean,
see it today, you'd be like, "What? What?"
suck me in, man. Especially with the machine guns, say less.
Yeah, I know,
Do
dude.
you
Tell
remember
me
the old
about it.
game called talking about PCs and games and stuff? It was called Turbo Outrun, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it seems like I remember that.
And I think you drive a Ferrari maybe, and you can choose to upgrade things like your tires and the turbocharger and stuff like that.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
yeah, it was old school game. And then at the end of the game, if you lost the race, like your girlfriend would like get out of your car and jump into the
Oh,
car next to you, which was a Porsche from memory, I think. I used to watch my uncle play that game, and I was like, that's so cool.
The higher ups have been working on us for years.
Yeah, yeah,
Your girlfriend gets out like, what a loss right there. Oh, ain't none of them loyal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah. Oh
Oh
shit.
man, video games have gotten insane. Like I would have never thought, like growing up in the '80s and '90s and all that it would be where it's at right now. But video games,
Yeah,
RC, all of it is just technology is at light speed. Like it'll be crazy to think where we'll be in 20 years, if we're even here
yeah.
in 20 years. We all might be, you know. Anyways, But yeah, it's just crazy
Someone's always
how
said
things
to
have
me that
changed.
as far as technology goes, like the tech's out there, but they just don't release it upon us in one big. You know what I mean? Like the technology is apparently light years ahead of where we're at now. Not light years, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're just keeping it for themselves.
like one of the reasons I'm into drift, or not into drift, but into RC as a
Mm.
hobby, was like that's one of the best memories I've got of my father. When I'd ordered a Chris one year for Christmas, every Christmas I got to pick something out of the Sears catalog. That'll also tell you how old I am. So like
Yeah,
Sears catalog came out, and like you had months to look through it, see what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? And you had stuff picked
yeah.
out all the time. Well, for the first time ever in like Sears catalog history, I saw a Kyosho buggy and was like, man, I gotta have it. Like it was unlike any other RC car I'd ever seen. It was not like your 9.6 volt, later on that you would get at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like it was.
The
I don't even think
Tycos and
Walmart
stuff
was a
like.
thing back then. Walmart still hadn't even came out. If it had, it wasn't in my hometown. But ordered it, man. Under the tree was this box, and it was the wrong shape. It was the wrong shape, and it was the wrong size. And I was like, that car ain't gonna fit in there. And opened it up, and it was into 50 blue million pieces. I was young, naive, like I was too young to even put it together. My dad came home
As a
every
kid,
night.
yeah.
My dad came home every night from work. He'd get off at 10, and he came home every single night and worked on that thing, and until he got it done. And he would work on it about 3 or 4 hours till he finally fell asleep and had to go to work the next day. But he would finally on March the 1st, I got to play with it from Christmas. That's how long
Oh
it took.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, like the shocks for
Yeah.
50 blue million. I mean, like we're used to it now because we do it all the time. But like
But
take
that's how
somebody
RC's
seven.
like the one.
Yeah,
That's how your 110s and stuff used to come as a kid. You know what I mean? It was very rare, or
Oh
from my
yeah.
memory as a kid anyway, it was very rare you'd find when Tamiya started to bring out like they're ready to run. I can't remember what it was called. It was a monster truck, but it was a red Beetle, and it had yellow wheels.
the
Monster
Baba,
I
Beetle.
the
can't.
Baba. Man,
I can't
Tamiya wasn't even a
yeah,
thing in Andrews, North Carolina. Like
yeah,
live in a three red light town in the mountains of North Carolina. I had 50 people in my graduating class. Like Tamiya, we never heard of Tamiya until honestly recently. Like it hadn't been that long
yeah,
ago. I'd say in the last 10 years I've heard it Tamiya. I'm 46 years
yeah.
old,
Wow.
man. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just yeah. I'd never heard of Kyosho before I'd actually picked one out and got it. But yeah, man, like a lot of stuff didn't reach these small towns until way later. The
Yeah, yeah.
internet's
It's
just
the same
messed
as
it
like I
all up.
suppose when I was a kid, all I was aware of was Kyosho and Tamiya. Um, and I used to buy like some of the RC car mags and stuff off the shelf at the service station or gas station, you guys call them. So then you'd look through them and you'd see all these other brands like there's HPI and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, like a few bigger brands, that you'd see overseas, and it's like. Man, I wish we could get those things here. And I go to my local hobby shop, and the guy would just spin me stories about, how parts and support for those brands of, cars aren't supported very well, and so they give me this big spiel why he doesn't stock them. And then we went away for a work trip to Newcastle, and then my brother was like, "Hey, do you want to go check out Frontline Hobbies?" And it's like, one of the bigger hobby shops in Australia. Like they're a pretty big show, and I went in there and I was like, I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe the stuff they had in there. Like I was just like, what the hell's going on? You
You were
know,
what? You were
um,
what? You were what?
I
Say it again. You were what
was like
smacked?
gobsmacked, like mouth, like dumbfounded.
That's one I hadn't
Um,
heard. That's one I hadn't heard of yet. That's cool.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so
I want to use that.
yeah, it was absolutely insane. And they had choppers, they had planes, they had buggies, they had drift cars, they had touring cars. Like they had everything. Like, and
Yep.
even right down to those cheap shit little they call them like a Coke can car or whatever they are. They come in like
Yeah.
the size of a can, and they've got the little controller and like they had everything, something to cater for every single person. And it's like that's cool.
Man, if they'd have had drift cars when I was a kid, my parents would have never seen me. You know what I'm saying? They'd had to come to they'd had to come wherever I was at to see me. Dude, I've had a fascination with being sideways ever since I had a 5 horsepower go kart way back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like I swear that's where I learned how to drive.
Well, I had my first experience with drifting something was, and back then I never knew there was a dedicated drift car. Like, we had just nitro powered, all wheel drive, shaft or belt driven, whatever they were. I got a HPI RS4 Evo 3 Plus, I think it was. I bought from Frontline Hobbies, and I was like, I found some officially licensed Rays engineering wheels. I'm like, fuck, they're cool. I've got to have them. And then the guy's like, are you going to drift it? And I'm like, what? And he goes, are you going to drift it? And I'm like, is that an actual thing? I said, because my mates used to put like, pieces of PVC tubing on the tyres of their touring cars, and they just find, whatever would fit, whatever would work, and they take them to a parking lot somewhere and just drift the hell out of these things. And he goes,
Did they have gyros back then, or they're just power
nope.
sliding? They're not drifting. They're power sliding.
Yeah, but back then that was all we had, I think. And as far as I know, like I said, I'd never heard of anything that was drift specific. And when I purchased that thing, and I'd already purchased it, and I'd already purchased tires and wheels for it, and like absolutely half destroyed this thing in a car park in Newcastle somewhere. Like I just bought all the shit to get it going while we were away for work. And then when I went back to Frontline another day, this guy's like, "Oh, yeah, this is my drift car," and I'm like, "Oh, is that an actual drift car?" He's like, "Yeah, it's an actual drift car designed for drifting." And I was like, "Right, should have bought one of them." But yeah, anyway, we live and we learn, don't we? And then I found these little guys, and it was like, shit, I can just do this, at home while the kids are in bed asleep. And I could just drift in my house. And it sort of fits perfectly,
Amen.
you know what I mean? Like,
I'm having to raise somebody to drift with. Like I can't find anybody around here that even wants to get into it. They're scared of it or something. I don't know. But like I'm having to.
I'm the same.
Hopefully, my fresh baby daughter will love it and want to get into it. So,
Yep.
like if she does, y'all will never see me. I will be in the garage drifting. I'll check in every now and again. But
I'm much the same here. Like, no one's into it. Like, there's the Orange RC Club where I live. I've posted on their page and stuff before. I'm like, hey, check this out, guys. And they're like, oh, yeah, cool. And it's like back to 110 buggies and on-road cars.
there's more people
So
get into the crawling
yeah.
around here than drifting. And I think mainly it's just because there's not a spot to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when they see the price of some of these small cars, they just don't add two and two together. You know what I'm saying? They don't see how small they are and think they cost that much. I myself think it's a bargain because like how could they've got a ton of they have to have a ton of money into manufacturing these parts, coming up with
100%.
designing them, the whole nine. Like it's pretty impressive. Small scale drifting is unlike any other RC that I have ever done in my life. Like I feel like it set me up for success in all kinds of other RC. I was talking to a guy that is super big into this mess and showed him these little micro receivers the other day, and he was like, "Never seen those."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, there's a lot of people hadn't, and like, man, this and like a Fury Tech Lizard setup, 6.5, almost 6.6 grams. Like, man, that light as a feather.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they don't weigh much at all.
Yeah, man, and like all these body mounts and stuff. Like, if I want to mount a different body on one of these crawlers, dude, like I will 100% be looking at GT55's website or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the same stuff from Drift is getting moved over with me to this. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cool, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
100%.
It sucks having to solder connections on everything because nobody at Crawlin makes a micro. Well, actually, Fury Tech did make one. This little setup right here is this is a ESC and receiver in one.
Yep.
Still huge though. Man, that thing weighs 26 grams. Like heavy. You'd never put that in a drift car. There's no way.
No, you wouldn't fit. I remember my first drift art when I, because like I was, none the wiser, purchased my radio, which is a FlySky NB4, Noble NB4, purchased the chassis, got the motor and ESC combo, just the cheap rocket stuff, and I quickly threw it to the shithouse basically and got something better. But
You
I
got the
had
best
no.
sayings in Australia. I love it. I could listen to you all day. Go ahead.
So yeah, I got the receiver out of the box, like the smaller receiver that comes with the Fly Sky. And I'm like, man, there's no way that thing is fitting in there. Like, what do these guys do for a receiver? And I remember fondly, putting some double-sided tape on the bottom of that thing and just hanging it off the side of the chassis because it didn't have a body or anything on it at that point. And I just wanted to slide,
Mhm.
So, and probably most people's initial reaction when they first play with one of these things, they put it on the ground and expect to be able to drift it straight away, and no tuning or anything like that. And all I could do was go around in circles. I was like, oh, fuck, this
Yeah, I've
is,
been there.
I suck at this. So then, yeah, a few of the guys in small scale drifters, pointed out some things, and the gyro was reversed and stuff like that. And once I got the thing sliding, I was doing full length zoomies, up and down the hallway of my house on the floorboards. And I was like just having a blast. And the thing looked like shit. There was wires everywhere, and I had this janky big Fly Sky receiver hanging off the side of the chassis. But I was having fun.
Dude, I mean, I tried the smallest receiver at the time I started that I could find
Yep.
was a Spectrum little
Yep.
DS5. Wasn't that big, but yeah, and it was still too big to put in a drift car. Like, I remember the first micro receiver I got, I was just like, whoa, game changer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
now you don't have to
Yeah.
have the little catch for the big giant
Yeah.
plug, cram all that wire in it. Next thing you know, I'm buying a solder gun. I'm starting to learn how to
No, the
solder.
V5. I'm spoiled with that V5, man. I
Man,
love those
dude,
things.
It's so good.
I actually used this on this crawler, trying to just to make sure that the screws in these 3D printed parts don't move or try to waller
Right,
in it.
right.
Yep, got that from you, Dwight, for sure.
Nice.
B6000 shoe glue, that style of glue. Man, it's
Yeah.
perfect because
Yep.
you can pull it right back off, but it will hold it. It will not
Oh
let
yeah,
it
for
Yeah.
go.
real.
I love it.
Yeah, it holds it nice.
Yeah, it does.
I
Yeah.
think it actually has a warning on the bottle, doesn't it? Or the Gorilla stuff does, saying this is actually a permanent adhesive. Like, before you use it, it's permanent. It doesn't come off.
I got to get some B6000, but you don't want to leave the cap off shoe goo for more than just as long as you need to
Yeah.
use it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
there's
saying?
like
Like,
a solvent based to the shoe goo. Well, actually, no, not too bad. But that B6000, B7000, man, it's awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna have
I'm
to try
putting the
some.
meta together with it, and God, the meta, it's.
Yeah,
I just want to see that I'm putting it together right. It's like I'm looking at the directions, I'm looking at the parts, I'm looking back at the directions. I'm like, what is this guy thinking? Like,
they've
Yeah.
overcomplicated something that I feel like didn't need overcomplicated.
okay, so it's not just me. So anyway, I'm just gonna
No,
keep on
No, it's
pushing
not.
on,
no,
but
no.
it's just very
What's your take on
bizarre.
the singular bearings in the axle hubs? Right.
Oh, well, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, our front axle or our front knuckles really where we gotta, take all the material away from. I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's the truth, though. I
It's a very
agree.
petite, design. We'll have to just see how it goes together and works. I'm used to double bearing setup, but he seems to think we can get away with it. I
Do you
think
think?
because it
I don't
has, you
so
know
much as done
why?
it as a custom
You know
on
why?
him.
Because I'm thinking about it, is because he has that little grub screw that actually holds that bearing. So you build the rigidity, I guess. You kind of,
But
without
that
that
doesn't
grub
do
screw,
anything for the inside of the bearing. The inside of the bearing, you
no,
got to buy some stupid
well,
expensive bearings to have a super tight bearing, and then it's not going to stay that way
well,
forever.
no, and you're not wrong, but again, being able to at least take all that load, if you will, off of whatever was holding it and basically isolating it by putting that little grub in there, I think will at least add some stability to it. I'll just have to see. It's funny because I was looking at the directions. I'm like, am I missing a page? Like, we're only using one now? Okay, no problem. So I don't know. I trust the guy who knows what he's doing. I mean, some of the stuff is kind of cool, like the little spring-loaded Ackerman adjustment thingamabob. It's kind of cool, but
My
I
Ackerman
don't know
works in
that
my
the
Ackerman works
floating
in reverse.
gearbox.
My Ackerman
Yeah.
works in reverse now though because
Oh yeah. So how did you put on that? How did you put on that baby O-ring in the steering arrangement? Where there's like that little baby O-ring that you have to put on
I
there.
think it's still on there. I
No, so
think.
I'm saying, did you add it, or when you
Yeah.
when you built
Yeah,
it?
it's on there. What, is it
How
still
did you
on
get it
there?
on
I
there?
have no
Because
idea.
I came up with a really great way to put it on there.
Did you?
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't have any
the
trouble getting it on,
Slayer.
but I did think to myself, if I ever drop this, like there ain't even no need to look for it. Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
that's a
small. It's
small
just
ass
like
O-ring. Yeah,
I
I
didn't even know
just
they made them
stretched
I
it
can't
anymore.
remember
over
it.
that .7 driver. I stretched it over the driver, head and the shaft. Then
Yeah,
I just set the head on and I just rolled it down.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. It went on first try. I couldn't even believe it, man. I'm like, what the?
That's one of the ones I remember building it. I got lucky on that one. Like I literally put it on my finger and just rolled it into it first try and was
Yeah,
like, yeah, right. Thinking
You
it
know
was gonna
what?
be a
yeah,
problem.
This seems kind of shit, but I do the same thing with like your spacers, like for the drift art brake kit, for example. You've got those little square.
yeah.
Are they a
Shims.
laser etched or CNC etched shims? Yeah.
Yeah,
So I have a really hard time with picking those up. You know how I do it? Like you say, put it on your finger, Jeff. I
yeah,
literally lick my finger
yeah,
Who's
and
that
just
yeah.
there?
press that
Mash
sucker,
that. Yeah.
and then you just go, press it on with your finger.
Yeah.
That's how I do a lot of my things, and I've done the same with the O-rings on the turnbuckles for the arms on the DLR8 because I looked at those
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's no
Honestly, I
fucking
just
way.
omitted those things. I was like, what the hell are these for? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not
What
messing
what
with
what
this.
what what now? What did
I
you?
did not put those O-rings on the DLR8 shafts, the
You know, thinking,
A-arms,
The
I
arms,
guess,
the
lower
turnbuckles.
arms.
thinking back, it really doesn't need them, does it? It can't go anywhere.
I was looking at it, I'm like, I mean, these are not going to vibrate loose, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Because,
No,
it's such a tight fit, So I was like, I mean, it's thoughtful, but I don't know what the hell is going on here. So,
it was really
you
tight
know,
with it was really tight with the O ring on it.
that's what I'm
Really,
saying. Yeah, yeah. I
really
said,
tight.
fuck
Yeah,
this
you
thing.
can't spin it at some points. You can't turn it. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So I
I love that
eliminated
chassis
that.
though.
I used a drill
It's good.
bit of the appropriate size to just kind of waller out, or just make sure that area is good to go, and then I just put it in there normally. I just took both of those things and I assembled it all the way to the ends on both, and that was right about where it needed to be. It is an
Yeah,
interesting system, and it is very robust, and it doesn't jiggle, but it's
yeah.
just very bizarre.
Nick, we were talking about. Can you see it? One's down just a little further than the other.
Yeah,
With the arms.
Yeah, I've got them close. What it is,
Yeah,
I've figured out what it is. You need the ball cups.
yeah.
yep,
Need to be
yeah. They
They need to be
rotated the
perfectly level
exactly the right amount. And but
on
you
both sides.
it doesn't show up, on the
Yeah,
ground when it's. But I love
yeah,
this chassis.
I think
This has been probably one
sweet.
of my favorites. Super
yeah. No, I love
simple,
This is
mine.
super simple, super. I love the
It's a great
gears and the
chassis.
gearbox. I love it, man. I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a great chassis.
yeah.
it
All
is
my
nice.
motors
I
now,
haven't.
I'm going for like 6,000 kV. 5,800. I'm going for the bigger KVs.
Are
Because
you?
those gearboxes, I just want to beat those gearboxes up, man.
So did you
You
see
know.
Mini B came out with the Dadgem Micro B or
No,
Losi?
I didn't
Why
hear
did I say
about it.
new? So yes, Slideways posted it. It's
What is it?
they come at Micro B, a 24 scale buggy,
Oh yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Oh,
the like the
what was
XRX
the brand
buggies
of it?
got.
Local. Yeah,
I love the Mini B. I've got a bunch of them. Uh,
I used
yep,
to have a few.
this 24 scale buggy is like I don't know, dude. Like I'm interested. I'm interested in it. And maybe the tires off the Mini B will work on this too, and I'll have some tire options. I've been thinking about that.
Hmm.
mm.
Yeah.
My eyes
I
get
got
worse and my
I
hobbies get
got drift on
smaller.
the
What's
brain.
going on?
I got drift on the brain.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you could put PVC around these tires and drift a buggy. I mean, I'm just saying. I've found these
My son's got
axles.
a
I've found these axles in 24 scale that I swear you could about drift with this thing. Look at the freaking steering angle on that thing.
That's massive.
Like,
Oh yeah, that's nice.
tell me you couldn't freaking tell me that thing wouldn't hold a little bit of an angle with some tires and a tall gear and some rear wheel driveness.
You look like one of those the Arabic videos, like the guys. Have you seen them?
Man,
I think
those
it's
guys are
maybe
nuts. Those guys are crazy. Like,
in
that is not for the weak. Those guys
in
initiate
Dubai.
at well over 100 in a freaking Altima. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Like, when they wreck,
Have you
it's
seen the video of them?
spectacular.
Have you seen the video of them driving? I think it's the same sort of guys doing it, and they're driving along the straight piece of highway on two wheels, and they get out and change the tire on the car out the window.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
Like they like take the whole wheel off, put the wheel back on, and do it up. It's those guys are
Like,
insane.
how big a
Yeah.
hurry could you possibly be in? You know what I mean?
Oh.
To make your boys get out and change. Hey, get out there and change that tire real quick. What you got
That's
there?
nice.
The old
That's that
TRC?
TRC.
Yeah.
Yeah, TRC. Yeah, V2.
V2. Oh yeah.
Oh man, this thing is so sweet.
Man, that's one I've never got to see in person. I've never got to see it. I had somebody on Instagram asking me where to get the ice blue meta. I didn't even know how to break it to him. I was like, you know, like, man, you can't even find parts for this thing anymore. Like, if you find them, you're lucky. You know, it's such
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
this
that's
thing
another.
is just wow, man. It's such a work of art.
That's
It's got the
another one.
four-wheel steering. The four-wheel steering. I don't know if you look at the rear wheels. Maybe you can see them turn, but
How do they turn?
it has a scissor mechanism in here that basically, if the servo horn is shaped like a sailboat horn, where it's got a section in the front and a section in the back, the section in the back hits a long little swing arm that attaches inside here. I mean, there's a whole scissor mechanism that goes on inside here. I'll have to show it to you guys, but yeah, it gives you this active steering in the rear. I
So
don't know
he's
if you
been
could
trying to
see it.
overcomplicate things for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
I'm just kidding,
no,
Tommy.
but
Tommy, if
back
you see this, I'm
then,
just
I
kidding. I'm
mean,
just kidding.
this car's got like pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? There's like something to it.
Man,
The other ones, if you look at them, they just get more and more conventional.
what's the number? What would be the number of the ice blue meta? You know, you've got your 1.5s and your 2.0s and all this.
No, that would be a
and what
V3.
order? It
That would
would have
be a
been the
V3.
third.
Yeah, yeah, because that's got nothing to do with the V2. Yeah. So
Where was
yeah.
the
Yeah,
what
it's
was the V?
completely separate.
Where was the V1? Why? I don't even think I've ever seen a V1.
You know what? I don't know if there was a V1, because that V2, there's like versions of that, V2.1 or 2.5. I don't know, but it was really just the one to have. Like the original drift art, no one's ever really, I mean,
Yeah,
people have maybe seen a picture, but no one's seen one in real life, super cool car.
I thought.
But
Weren't you trying to buy one not too long ago?
yeah, yeah, back when I was
Did they not?
really,
Did they
really,
not
really
come
looking for
through?
one.
Did they not come through?
No, I mean I don't know. It's interesting. It's just part of the folklore, you know what I mean? It's like it's
Yeah.
not worth anything per se, but it's worth, more money than you could spend. Let's put it that way. So
I feel like there's still a lot of RC small scale drift that is like underground. A lot of people still don't know about this.
no, and it's cool,
100%.
like our page is getting quite a few members in it. It's gonna start getting on autopilot, so to say, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun though. That's the thing. It's accessible. It's fun. It doesn't have to turn into what I got. That's just bad decisions. But you could certainly.
Yeah. Listen,
It's
you're talking to a couple of people that are making the same bad decision. That's
yeah,
why we all like each
but
other.
it's so much
Shit.
fun. When I get this camera fixed on my phone, We'll do some slide while we're sitting there talking because it is fun. There's nothing to
Well,
it.
when I get
I
moved into
mean,
this next house, I can do the same because I'm going to set everything up closer to the garage where I've got the track. I've got all the material to build my second level, which I have not. I've got it in my head. I know what I'm going to do. It's going to look sick. Uh,
nice.
but I got to get over there. I got to get over there where I can do it. I just went over there and mowed the grass at the place that was out of control because with everything that's been going on and going back to work and everything else, man, it's just been kind of
Yeah.
it's been hard to fit everything in. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Life gets like that.
Yep. It does.
Yeah, well,
Unfortunately.
that's why doing this on the regular is a good thing. Just we'll
Yeah.
all slug through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Take a break out.
Absolutely.
Let your hair down. Talk about the small
It'd
shit.
be sweet though to have it. I mean, that would get it out there more if people could see it. You know what I'm saying? See the some people. So all of us and all of our crew that we talk with on a regular basis, like they know where to look. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people out there don't know where to look to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when people look for fun, and people like drifting, people like building models, they like miniature culture,
Yeah.
that's why, the group, small scale RC, that is encompassing all sorts of stuff, not just drifting or crawling. It's just about anything. Anything small scale,
Yeah.
18 scale, and below, maybe, 12 scale and below. But yeah, drifting is just a facet of it, but it's just such a mammoth,
It's
that if you could pull it off,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
saying quite a bit.
I think that's the most addictive part of it is when you finally get it and get it right. It's
You nail it. Yeah.
before you know it, you're buying another one, trying to get it
Yep.
just right, and then before you know it, that one's done, and you're doing another one, and it just turns into
Like I said,
a disease. I think.
my first one was a DA3S, and it was going to be my only. And because I'd seen, you know, videos online, a few of Brad Bowman's videos and stuff like that of him building his track and sliding around and stuff. And I went, what the hell are these things, and why have I never heard of them? And
Yeah.
then, so the further you start to look, once you actually find that hook to catch on, like it's a rabbit hole, and it's a deep rabbit hole. And you
Yes,
find
it
like there's
is.
almost other manufacturers, and then you find the small scale pages on Facebook, and there's so much more information on, brands of chassis and electronic setups and stuff like that. And it's like, cool. So the first time I went on small scale drifters, I recall, and I'm looking, I'm going, where do these guys get these bodies for these things? Like they're tiny. And then guys are going, oh, so like you've got your model car kits sitting around collecting dust, and they're just static. Like this is the perfect way to see them come to life. And I was like, a model kit? And they're like, yeah, like your model car kits. And I was like, so what do you do with the rest of the kit? And they're like, oh, you just,
Throw that shit in the garbage.
You
yeah. And I'm like,
you steal the mirrors out of some of them,
Oh, well, yeah,
and you
yeah,
just put
yeah.
them on stuff because you've got stuff
uh,
everywhere.
But chances
Yeah,
are, if it's an interior or you just throw that shit away.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Steering
yeah,
wheel. Like,
you
look.
literally scour through the sprues and go, oh, I need
I
that.
call him fotterblade. Old fotterblade right here has got a steering wheel in his hand, an old steering wheel,
Yeah, that's
chromed out and
cool.
all. Look at that mullet.
Shoot.
Tell me he don't look good. Like, dude,
Yeah.
hide your moms. Hide your moms. Here he comes. Yeah, dude. Like, okay,
Oh, that's funny.
here's something. Fotterblade was really the name of a guy in my hometown. Fotterblade Conley was his name. And I don't know. I never met him. I never met him. But a guy I used to work for had some fascination with the guy's name, and he called everybody Fotterblade. I don't know why, but like so for about 5 6 years straight, that's all I heard. You gonna do that there, Fotterblade? I mean, it was so
It just
yeah.
Yeah.
gets stuck in your
So when I needed a
head.
name for that guy right there in the Camaro, Fotterblade was all I could think of, and that's what it was
Yeah, I
going to
think
be.
I'm gonna have to build one of my own damn self.
Fotterblade the mullet man. So he's got a mullet, dude. This little dude right here, it was smaller than a GI Joe. This came straight out of the '80s. This dude
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, it is. I remember getting the toy. This dude, I think, I want to say, dude, this is crazy because I've still got all this mess. Uh,
He looks like he's from a few movies in the 80s starring a particular person with the last name Holmes, maybe.
Yeah.
I had a car
A person
trailer.
and a half.
This Corvette used to sit on a car trailer because I thought about using
Didn't they
this one
all?
day for a drift car. But this old die-cast Ranger pickup and this
Mm-hmm.
Corvette sat on a trailer, and that dude was the
Yep.
driver. This
Hmm.
toy was like, I looked it up one day, like it's early '80s. Still got it, but like, yeah,
Probably
yeah,
worth a few bucks, and you've just ripped it apart.
dude, this Corvette has been crashed more times than you can shake a stick at. My granddad, one of my favorite toys growing up was my granddad cut me. He had a cabinet shop and he built furniture, and I had a
Yep.
box full of a million wooden blocks of all shapes and sizes. And I would
Yep.
plywood pieces and everything. I would build these gigantic buildings, and then these things would come crashing off the steps into it, just like Evil Knievel, and just, you know what I mean? Like that was it back in the day. You know what I mean? When you showed up at
Yeah.
grandparents' house, that's what
Yeah.
happened. That's what you did. You know?
HD memories.
Yeah, brother. And
Yeah.
you know, grandmother and granddaddy were always world famous for a Velveeta cheese sandwich with Miracle Whip and watching The
Oh my
Price of Right at
gosh.
noon. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what you
Yeah.
did. You know.
That's the good old
Yeah.
days.
And then when the sun went down, Granddad snuck off to the back room and started watching Showtime boxing. You know,
Mm.
that's, anyways.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I said to my kids when, growing up, I said, we never had iPads. And they said, what do you mean? I said, I never had iPads, never had internet, never had Wi-Fi, didn't have YouTube. And they're like, well, what did you do?
you used
We
your
made videos.
imagination. That's where all this
Yeah,
stuff I think has stemmed from us is having to use your
yeah,
imagination to figure stuff out. Like it definitely helps. I think we're really probably hurting the newer generation by having all this technology. They can live vicariously through their phone. They don't have to live it themselves. You know.
yeah. That's sad, but that's what it is. And, you know, it's like what you used to do in the day. You used to go outside and smash shit with your toy cars, or, I used to go to my grandparents' place, my grandma's house, and, you'd go out into the dirt in the garden and you'd make a dirt track with your Matchbox cars.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I
you know,
found a few out in the
or you,
backyard at my mom's house still. So every now and again, you'll be mowing or digging a grave for a dog and find one. And be like, oh, hey, I remember that thing. You know?
as long as you're
But
not mowing and then you cop the car to your like shin or,
yeah, I hate when you destroy one. That's for sure. It's happened though.
yeah.
I had a Marlboro Porsche. How many Hot Wheels with cigarette ads on the side of them? Like they don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no,
When I
no,
was a kid,
there's too many stock
you didn't
cars.
even have to be in a car seat. That's how old my ass is. You just in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you wrecked, you were never buckled in to nothing. You were
No.
always playing in the back or laying in the back window of a 1978 Thunderbird, 83. Sorry, 83 Thunderbird.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
No seatbelts required. I think what they say the first ever car related death in history. I can't remember the speed that it happened at, but it was maybe like it was slow. It was like stupid slow. Somebody got run over or something, and they put it down to accidental death.
That's
Whoops.
terrible that we're laughing about this.
Oopsie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oopsie.
My bad. Now, this is a true story
Sorry about
about me
that.
too. All right, my mom, she's gonna kill me for telling this on the internet, but man, I was little, and my dad had an old C10 long bed Chevrolet pickup truck, white and red
Yep.
with the stripe down the side. They make a crawler, looks just like it right now, except short bed. And we were turning at the red light in the middle of my hometown, and door pops open, and out I go. And like I was little, like little, able to. I was like walking at 7 months, but like I was walking, but I don't remember this myself. But yep,
So you were young.
Mom said she just knew social services was coming to take me away. Like she hurried up, slammed the brakes on, jumped out the intersection, ran over, got me there, was skin up, just bawling, threw me back in the
Yeah.
truck and down the road she went, wide open, take me home and bandage me up. But like, yeah, man, like chucked me out about 25 mile an hour. I was fine. Still,
Lucky you didn't die.
if it
Well, that explains a
doesn't
lot.
kill you, it only makes you stronger. So
Yeah, that explains a whole
So
bunch.
they
whatever,
say.
whatever. Hey man,
Oh,
I
shit.
had a good family life. My parents were they were not the strictest in the world, but they weren't the slackest in the world either. They were perfect, right down the middle. Good, loving family. You know, they were all about having fun and having a good time, but you still get your hind end up
Yep,
and you go to work every day and you do what you're supposed to do. You know,
yep.
I'm very fortunate to have the parents I had.
That's, I
So
mean, them kind of old school values, they, I don't think they exist anymore, or they do exist in some of the older generation. That's, well, I think we're coming to be the older generation now. But,
yeah, how did
you
that
know,
happen?
like, the way I was brought up, like I said to my kids, I said, you're damn well lucky. Like, you know, I showed them the base for the jug, for the kettle, and I'm like, see that? And I showed them the cord. I said, when I was naughty when I was a kid, that was what I got punished with. Like, my dad would fold that sucker in half and he hit me across the arse with it. And, like I said, you guys got it so lucky. I said, my dad's probably the reason why the cord on the jug is no longer removable. You know what I
That's
mean? It's
hilarious.
like,
Oh my god.
and like kids nowadays got it so much different. Like, you're not allowed to smack your kid. Like, you're barely allowed to yell at your kid.
Yeah,
And,
that's messed up, dude. There ain't nothing like Daddy's voice, and that Dad's in big old thick belt he always wore. When that thing come off, you don't talk about an attitude straightener. That'll do it. By
yeah,
golly, I
yeah,
was a good kid because of a couple of experiences with that Dad's in belt. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yep,
you know. Hey, listen, kids nowadays don't understand that there are consequences to your actions, and they're
yep.
allowed to get away with bloody murder before they ever get,
Yeah,
ever feel the consequences. It's like that in the
but the
court
thing,
system too, dude. Like it is just not
yeah,
the same. You know what I mean? Like I
well, like
remember
I
one
said, like
time.
we spoke briefly. Oh, sorry, you go.
Go no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Like, I remember, like we spoke one time about, I lock my cars in the garage of a night because, if you don't, around here where I live, they break into your house, they find your keys, and they take your shit. Like, if
Yeah,
it's not locked down, like, they take it, they joyride it, and then they burn it out. Anyway, the kids, like the guys that are doing it, some of them are 14, 15, and sometimes younger, and they're driving cars around town. Like, aside from the fact that they could kill themselves or kill somebody else, and then, they go before the magistrate, they go before the courts, and it's like, they're just kids.
yeah.
Don't
They
do it
get
again.
smack on the wrist. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. And
It
even
all
the cops
starts
got
back at home. It
frustrated with
all
it.
starts back at home with the parents, man. Like parents need
Yep.
to rule like they used to. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew they still loved you, but you knew if you did
Yeah,
something
yeah,
stupid, you were going to feel it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't know.
I parent my kids the way I feel I should. Like, I don't abuse my kids. I don't. I've smacked them on the bum before if they need a smack. I'll be the first to admit it. But like, um, I think, and they know too. Like, my young fella has said to me on occasion, you can't do that to me. And I'm like, hey, I'll smack you on the bum if you're naughty. And he's like, you can't. You're not allowed to do that to me. And I'm like, listen here.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, he's done
You
that to
want to
me in
see?
public
You want to
places
see?
before.
You want to
Yeah,
see?
he's done it
I'll
to me in
show you.
public places before, and I'm like, mate, I will hold your hand and I'll kick your bum all the way out of the stall, and I'll let everyone watch. And he just looks at me and he's like, "You're serious?"
Yeah.
I'm like, goddamn right, I'm serious.
You dang right, I'm serious. You dang right, I am.
Yeah,
Yeah. Missed that the
yeah,
other day, man. I get to do it all again.
yeah. You get, yeah, yep.
I get to do it all again. I don't know.
So
This one's
your little one now is at a beautiful age, like perfect age. They're fun, they're bubbly, they're learning new things. Do you know what I mean? They've got little personalities, and it's like, well, um, the gym that I go to here in Orange, like the owner has just had another baby, right? So, and I mean, this little fella is fresh, like out of hospital sort of thing, fresh,
yeah.
newborn. And the young girl that works at the gym who runs it now essentially full time. I walked in the other afternoon after I'd finished work to do my workout, and she's holding this little baby. And I said, "Be careful." And she said, um, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I said, but this is the trap. I said, this is the easiest part right here, right now, aside from the sleepless nights. This is the easiest part. I said, it only gets hard from here.
Yeah, unless they have colic. If they've got colic, buckle up. Because
Yeah, yeah.
6 8 months are going to be rough. I just dealt with that. I never even heard of colic before, but yeah,
Well, I haven't either. I don't know what it is. So,
it's a intolerance to milk, and their stomach hurts all the
oh,
time. They don't burp. They're full of gas, and they cry constantly. And when I say constantly, if they're not crying, they're asleep. As soon as they wake up, they're right back to it and crying in pain. You can tell, and it's the most heartbreaking, wrenching. I don't even want to. Mallory's
yeah.
she's
Wow.
through it. She's through it now at 6 months. It was like flipping a switch, but man, she'll watch me drift these little drift cars in the floor, and
Yeah.
she's got this weird little thing right now that she does. It's like the Arsenio Hall little whoop whoop whoop.
Hmm.
But Crystal says she's waving by, but
That's
like
funny.
I'm like, no, that's the Arsenio Hall whoop whoop. No,
Yeah,
and
whoop whoop.
she'll sit right there and watch me drift the little cars. Crystal will hold her at the door and watch the drift the cars. And she'll be up there, arms just a moving the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Nice.
she loves it. So like I really hope she gets into RC with me, man. It'll be cool.
That's funny. We've got a pet cockatiel. It's my daughter's bird, but he's my buddy as well. And sometimes we just let him out to do his own thing, and he's because we haven't got him out of the cage a whole heap lately. He doesn't sort of come like he used to sit on my shoulder and just chill out with me and just walk around, do whatever with me. And it was bad because sometimes I'd go to walk outside and I'd forget he was there, and I'm like, oh shit, I better put the bird away. But sometimes he just chills out on the kitchen bench, and if I'm doing a bit of testing or I think I've explained before, the kitchen bench is my workspace when my wife's at work. That's my tool shop. So, when I'm testing, and then I'll put it down on the floor in the immediate kitchen area to test out, when I've done adjustments or done
Man, why
something
have
different.
you not
And
3D printed a seat for him and took him drifting? Like, what in the world's wrong with you? He would love it.
well, he stands on the side of the bench and he turns his head sideways like that, and his crest is up in the air, and I'm like, you like that, mate? And he sits there and chirps and talks, and he's just like, what is that? And
You've
he'll
got
even
to get him a seat and a 5 point harness, man. Like, I don't even know what you're waiting on.
Well, somebody showed me the other day a video of a guy with a 110 scale drift car, I think, and it wasn't a cockatiel, it was some other kind of parrot. And this thing was like, oh, like talking to the car and putting its head on the wing and cuddling the car. And then eventually, yeah, he jumped on the wing and went mad. I don't know how the bird stayed on, but yeah, it's crazy. They're funny. And going back to the kids thing, I went to Bathurst, neighbouring city, a couple of weeks ago with my younger brother. He's got he's only, I think, 28 or 29 years old, and he has I think it's a 2023 model BMW M3 competition.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
it is fast. It is a fast car. Like,
Well,
it's one of the fastest cars
You're
I've
over
been in.
driving a Raptor. Like, I mean, you got some hot stuff too there.
It's cool. It's a cool thing. It's a truck. Like, you can chuck shit in the back and it goes fast. So I like that. But yeah, no,
You need to be building a
I was,
crawler Raptor for your first crawler build. Like, you're already used to
well, I've
doing
looked at
stuff
the
like this.
body
I'm
and the
sure they 3D print the bodies. You've got a 3D printer. You could
yeah,
probably get on Colts and figure something out.
find the body and print it out. But
Yeah, yeah. Shoot
yeah,
shit.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe if I can drop the addiction
Dwight's
from
got sick of
drifting for
listening to us.
5
He's just disappeared completely.
minutes.
He's
I'm
gone.
listening to you guys.
Yeah, no, we yesterday so like I said with the car thing, like I've
Sorry.
asked my baby brother, if he'd take my son for a drive in his Beamer because he'd never been in it. I've told him stories about it, how quick it is, and um, he sort of said, will you ask Uncle Tate if he can take me for a drive in his BMW? And I said, yeah, sure, no worries. And I get scared getting in and out of the thing because it's full tan leather, ivory leather interior. It's
Mm.
got the carbon fiber bucket seats in it, like. And the thing doesn't, like, he's pedantic with his stuff. So, like, I have to cradle myself in so I don't drag my bum on the seat bolsters, or kick the side step with my foot. And
Yeah,
so the
there's a
same
culture
thing,
to it. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, you respect other people's shit, you look after your own stuff too, but like other people's stuff that little bit more. And I give the kids a pep talk because both of them came in at, like, my little girl, she's still in a booster seat. She's only 6, but I thought, given the situation, maybe it'd be okay. So she wanted to come in the car as well. So I helped my little boy get into the car. He's 9. He clipped up, and then I cradled my little girl into the car, clipped her up, and then, we were driving for some time, and I said to him, do you want to give it a little squirt and show him what it does? And he said, do you want to go fast? And they said, yeah. And I talk to anyone, like, she doesn't even talk to me. It's like she's always shy. And I looked at her, I said, are you okay, sweet? She goes, yep. So then little brother stood on it for a second, and the thing it got loose, like the tail come out, and it was just peeling through the gears, spinning the wheels. And then he shut it off, and I looked around at my daughter, and she's just got this smile from ear to ear. And I went,
That's how it begins. That's
at
how it
that point, I went, fuck, I'm in trouble.
begins. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's we were already over an hour.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I got to get a couple things done. I've got leaves already falling in the yard that I've got to get blown up before it gets dark. I'm just carrying them into the house with me when I walk in. It's getting so bad, dude. I've got trees everywhere, so it's just so bad. So got to get started now. I'll blow leaves no less than 10, 12 times between now and winter. Yeah, like it's bad. It's bad.
That's
If
crazy.
you don't, it gets out of control. Like if you let it go for 2 or 3 weeks and then let it rain,
yeah,
you're screwed.
apocalypse.
You're
Yeah,
screwed.
Sloppy,
It's
stodgy mess.
Yeah, there's like a forest floor. I mean, anyways.
yeah.
But
All right, man. Well, listen,
I've
I'm
lost you.
glad you're well, and I guess I'll catch you here next week.
yeah, brother, sounds good. Y'all be good.
All right, man. I'll see you, Nick.
See you guys.
All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See you, dude.